What if I told you we could be on the verge of like a huge solar power revolution?
Yeah.
We're going to dive into a new discovery that could like totally change how we think about energy, right?
Yeah, it's really remarkable. This research has been going on for decades, and for the longest time the efficiency of solar cells has kind of been held back by this thing called the Shockley Queisser limit.
Okay.
Basically, there's a limit to how much sunlight a typical silicon solar cell can convert into electricity, even in like perfect conditions.
So it's like hitting a ceiling.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
can't get past it. So how are we breaking through this ceiling?
Well, researchers at the Universidad Complutense de Madrid have been experimenting with something completely different.
Give it to me.
A new type of solar cell that uses gallium phosphide and titanium.
Okay.
And get this, they've managed to achieve a 60% energy conversion efficiency.
60%. That's almost twice as efficient as the traditional silicon-based solar panels.
It's a game changer, potentially.
Yeah. So instead of getting, let's say, like 100 units of power, you could get almost 200 from that same amount of sunlight.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the magic? Like, how is it doing this?
So imagine you're trying to catch butterflies with a net, right?
Yeah.
Traditional silicon solar cells, they're kind of like having a net that can only catch certain colors of butterflies.
Oh, I see.
They miss out on all the other colors, you know? But these new cells, they're like having a net that can catch all the butterflies, doesn't matter what color they are.
Interesting.
They can capture and convert a much wider range of light wavelengths, especially those above 550 nanometers,
Okay,
which basically means more energy from the same amount of sunlight.
that's awesome. So it's not just about making what we already have better. It's about completely changing how we even capture the sunlight. What kind of impact is this going to have on like our everyday lives? Could we see homes, businesses generating way more of their own energy?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine a world where your solar panels are producing, like you said, almost twice the electricity. Your energy bills would plummet. You'd be less reliant on the traditional power grid.
Right.
It's a win-win for your wallet and for the environment.
It seems like it. This is still new though, right? What are the challenges that these researchers are facing when it comes to like getting this out to the market?
Well, right now, these gallium phosphide and titanium solar cells are mostly stuck in labs.
Okay.
Figuring out how to scale up production and make them affordable, that's the big challenge right now. We've only been able to produce them in small batches so far, and we need to figure out how to manufacture them on a much larger scale without, losing that impressive 60% efficiency.
So turning a scientific breakthrough into something that everyone can actually use.
Yeah, it's
That's
that.
always the hard part, right?
It is. And it's not just about the cost. We also have to think about how long these new cells will actually last.
Oh, right. Of
Yeah.
course.
How will they hold up in the real world, with rain, wind, heat, cold, all of that?
These are important questions. We don't want a solar panel that just breaks down after a year or can't handle a little bad weather. So what's being done to make sure these cells are built to last?
Researchers are looking at a bunch of different things, like ways to encapsulate the cells, with protective layers,
Okay.
and also how to make the materials themselves tougher, more resilient.
All right.
It's a balancing act, trying to make them efficient and durable and affordable.
Of course.
But here's the thing, it's not just gallium phosphide and titanium that are shaking things up in the solar world.
Oh, there's more. What about those perovskite solar cells I keep hearing about? Those seem pretty promising.
Perovskites, yeah, those are really interesting. They're like a newer type of material, and they've already hit efficiencies of over 33%.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and there's potential for even more.
So are these perovskites going to like replace the gallium phosphide cells? Is it a competition?
Not really. They both have their own, advantages,
Okay.
Remember how we talked about traditional silicon cells being limited by what they can absorb?
Yeah, the butterfly net thing.
Exactly. Well, perovskites are also really good at grabbing a wide range of light wavelengths, even better than silicon.
Interesting.
But the really cool thing about them is how flexible they are.
Flexible. Wait, so we could have like bendable solar panels.
Exactly. We can manufacture them as thin films.
Oh, wow.
So you could put them on curved surfaces, windows, maybe even closing.
Solar-powered clothes. That sounds like something out of like Back to the Future or something.
Right. The possibilities are pretty incredible.
Yeah, imagine like walking down the street just generating power as you go.
Yeah. But as with any new tech, we got to think about the downsides too, right?
Right. What are the challenges with perovskites?
The biggest issue right now is stability.
Okay.
They're kind of sensitive to moisture and oxygen.
Mm.
which can make them break down pretty quickly, especially outdoors.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah, they might not be as durable as traditional silicon panels or even these gallium phosphide cells just yet.
Right.
But scientists are working on it, coming up with different ways to protect them,
Okay.
trying out new perovskite compositions that are more stable. It's really pushing the limits of materials science.
So it's like a big puzzle, right?
Yeah,
Finding the right materials and techniques to make this work.
exactly. It's super exciting.
It really seems like there's a ton of innovation happening in solar energy right now.
There really is.
But, I mean, what does all of this mean for the future? Are we really on the edge of like a clean energy revolution?
We might be. The potential is definitely there.
Okay.
Think about it. We could drastically reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, move to cleaner, renewable energy.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
It's not just about carbon emissions either. It's cleaner air, a healthier planet,
Right, of
a
course.
future where our kids and grandkids can actually, you know, breathe easy.
Wow, that's a powerful thought.
It's something to strive for, right?
Absolutely. What would that look like, though? Like for everyday people? How would our homes and cities change? So we're talking about way more than just like putting some panels on a roof, right?
Yeah, way more.
Like what could a solar-powered future actually look like?
Okay, so imagine cities that are built with solar in mind from the ground up.
Okay.
Buildings, sidewalks, even like noise barriers on the highway, all generating clean energy.
Wow.
We could have entire communities running on solar power, where they barely have any carbon footprint at all.
It's like building clean energy into like the foundation of the city.
Exactly.
And what about for like regular homes?
Well, imagine your house making more energy than it even uses.
Okay.
You'd actually become an energy producer selling that extra power back to the grid.
Wow.
And picture this. You pull up to your house, your electric car,
Yeah.
plug it right into your house, charge it up from your own solar system.
You'd never have to go to a gas station again.
Exactly. You'd be totally self-sufficient.
That's amazing. But even though all this sounds great,
Yeah.
we have to think about, are there downsides? Are there risks to this kind of future?
Yeah, of course. We always have to look at both sides.
Right.
One thing that comes to mind is like, how are we getting these materials?
Right.
Like we need gallium, we need titanium. That kind of mining can be tough on the environment.
Right. We don't want to solve one problem and create another?
Exactly. It's got to be sustainable.
Yeah, for sure. Are there other things we need to be aware of?
Well, as solar becomes more common, it's going to change the energy industry, right?
Right.
Some jobs might change, some might even disappear.
That's true.
We have to make sure that that transition is done fairly, that people are taken care of.
So it's like we can't just focus on the technology. We have to think about the people, too.
Exactly.
It's like what you were saying before. We're trying to make a better future for everybody.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. So as we like move into this new era of solar power, we have to keep our priorities straight.
Absolutely.
Responsible planning, doing things the right way, making sure everyone benefits.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This has been a really fascinating look into the future of solar energy.
It has.
It's exciting, and it's great to know that people are thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, it gives you hope, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a really insightful deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
And thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time.